This is the bloc's most extensive sanctions package against Moscow in 4 years. Joining us now from Sofia is political analyst Andrei Schwartz. Andrei, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, let's start by getting your thoughts on this. What really sets this package apart from what we've seen previously?
I would start just by saying it's telling that it's 4 years plus in the making that this largest package of sanctions has been approved. And it shows that the European Union member states are not in cohesion as they should be. And it also shows that many member states are still relying on Russia for different parts of their economies and beyond. And so what sets it apart really in my mind is, look, I think Kaja Kallas is saying, this is the largest package. It has to be seen whether this really has teeth and whether it's really biting into the Russian willingness to continue this war on Ukraine, this war of choice on Ukraine, or whether, this, together with the waves of strikes on the Russian economy by Ukraine in recent months, starts to put pressure on Russia finally, and to make the calculations in Moscow different and in such a way that this war is not, the continuation of this war is not warranted anymore. I think it was sadly too easy on Putin for too long, and the fact that they haven't seen pressure, really significant pressure in Moscow, in St. Petersburg, and in other major cities, including via the way they recruited and pushed people onto the Ukrainian front, but also because of Ukraine's lack of capability early on to hit those major Russian cities. That meant that for the average Russian who has a say in decision making, the war was not costly. So let's see. For Kaja Kallas, who's taken the road of Mogherini and Borrell, her predecessors, in many ways, although many in Europe, in the European Union, certainly hoped that she would be a much more rational voice. For her to state that this is the biggest package costs nothing. But again, let's see what the real cost for the Russian economy is.
How soon will the sanctions take effect? Do we know?
Well, it really depends. And it all depends primarily not on logistics or on technological capability, etc., depending on sector, but it's really on political willingness. Because yes, there was agreement on this package, but the paper itself, doesn't mean much unless it's enforced, isn't it? And so this will depend upon agencies that are based out of Brussels, but also those in the national capitals. And so, whether these agencies will work on enforcing these bans on the banking sector, on the fleet, the shadow fleet of Russia, via other, other banners, the banners of other countries, and crypto, including, companies. You've mentioned a few countries which were included in this list via their respective companies, but also Georgia, for example, was included here. With crypto companies helping fund the Russian war effort via covert manners. This has to be seen again. It's a matter of political willingness. I would estimate that it's not a matter of hours or days. It's not a matter of pushing a button, but it's really a matter of gradually enforcing these new regulations, these specific bans.
Okay. And why do you think the EU's rolled out these sanctions in stages rather than applying maximum pressure from the beginning?
It's not a matter of unwillingness from many people in the Commission and the Parliament and so on, but it's really a matter of the ties that Russia created and engulfed European Union states, and not only those, with the oil and gas dependence specifically of Russian oil and gas. Again, was created, was not only a natural occurrence over the decades, but it was really created via political and other, other tactics and strategies. And so it takes some time, because many politicians in specifically a few countries in the European Union have been unwilling, obviously, to impose sanctions on Russia, and everything had to be gradually passed via accepting other dolences from the respective countries. We know of Hungary, we know of Slovakia, but we've heard in what your colleague mentioned earlier, we've heard of countries as varied as Portugal, Germany, and Greece. But really, it's most of the countries on the continent that have some sort of still some sort of ties to Russia, obviously, and the political cost from the population is too high. We have on screen the German chancellor. We've seen the impact on the German industrial and manufacturing complex over the last 4 years. The automotive sector and beyond. It's not only the Chinese automakers that have dented it, but it's also the fact that the cost has grown tremendously because Russian gas has been taken partially out of the equation. So this results in many jobs being lost in Germany. This puts a lot of pressure on politicians, and this is why we see, in part, this is why we see the AfD, for example, and other parties on the extremist right and the extremist left grow further, not only in Germany, but also in France and in other places.
And Andrei, also looking at Russia's shadow fleet, hundreds of vessels have been sanctioned already. Why is it still operating? What's your assessment there?
Well, again, political will, plus in this case also the logistics of it. Who's going to enforce? Who's going to enforce and take over, if necessary, these vessels? We've seen what's happening now in the Straits of Hormuz with the U.S. blockade on top of the Iranian blockade there, and it's not easy for the U.S. to seize and stop vessels coming out of Iran. Russia has protected its shadow fleet with airplanes, and helicopters and drones and whatnot, all over Europe and beyond. And so, who's going to decide to enter a direct confrontation with Russia? The main stockpiler, if not nuclear power, but stockpiler of nuclear weapons and missiles. It's a very tricky situation. And again, you need massive resolve, and massive resolve only comes after a nation or a set of nations have already endured a lot of pain. This is what's happening with Ukraine now. They are resisting at all costs because they've suffered immensely because of the Russian war of aggression that Putin has decided on unleashing.
Andrei, that's all we have time for this hour. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for your analysis.
Thank you.
Pakistan is pushing back against the European Union's latest assessment of its preferential trade status with the bloc. Islamabad says the report overlooks years of reforms to the arrangement. The dispute comes as Pakistan also faces new pressure over its trading relationship with the US.